Pero sí ha prendido fuego, ¿o no?
Esta vivienda, vamos a remarcar que una mujer murió de aproximadamente 30 años, los otros 6 personas, bueno, resultaron heridas, como te decía, fueron inmediatamente trasladadas a un hospital de aquí de la zona de Temperley también, porque recordemos que Temperley, Ezeiza, queda muy cerca de Esteban Echeverría.
Our breaking news continues on KCAL 9 News at 10. A mysterious burning object lights up the night sky in Southern California. It appears to fall to Earth, but what was it?
Yeah, people from the coast to the OC to the Inland Empire, the mountains, the deserts, and all the way to Vegas and Phoenix saw this thing. Our Dave Bryan is live in the newsroom with the very latest. Dave, what are people saying?
Well, Sharon, there's still no confirmation what that object was, but as we first reported at the top of the newscast, Vandenberg Air Force Base told us the mystery object was not a satellite falling to Earth or any kind of space junk.
My friend looked over this way in the sky and said, "Look, a meteor, a meteor."
I thought it was a firework because I thought it was close by, and they're like, there's no way that's a firework.
Warning, did people in Chelyabinsk have?
None.
Paul Chodas is a scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. He and his boss, Don Yeomans, have been trying to track near-Earth objects for decades.
We didn't see it coming. It was coming from the general direction of the sun, so it was in the daytime sky as it approached.
So how did you find out about it?
Twitter and YouTube when we first saw the images.
So the first people at NASA heard about it was Twitter?
Exactly.
The meteor that rocketed into Russia really got our attention a few weeks back. We learned today about the threat of such things to our modern world. In the meteor and asteroid tracking business, they call the big ones city killers. And while there was very little good news today about our chances of getting them before they get us, there was some talk about future remedies. Our report tonight from NBC's Stephanie Gosk.
Last month, a meteor rocketed into the atmosphere and exploded over Russia, frightening because the shockwave blew out windows and injured 1,200 people.
It came out of the sun. It came from a direction where our telescopes could not look.
Today at a hearing on Capitol Hill, leading space scientists told lawmakers the U.S. is not prepared to defend itself against meteors of the same size.
If you detected even a small one, like the one that detonated in Russia, headed for New York City in 3 weeks, what would we do?
The answer to you is if it's coming in 3 weeks, pray.
Scientists say they have identified all asteroids large enough to wipe out the planet, like the one suspected of killing off the dinosaurs, and there is no immediate risk. The concern is meteors that are smaller, but still big enough to take out a city.
The number of undetected potential city killers is very large. It's in the range of 10,000 or more.
The probability of impact is low, they say, but at present funding levels, NASA believes it will take almost 20 years to identify them all. What would help is an infrared telescope. The government won't pay for one, but
WISE is the Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer. WISE is going to find hundreds of millions of objects spread over the entire sky. And for us, that's like a treasure map. We think there are about as many grains of sand on this beach as there are stars in the entire universe. So the task of finding rare objects in the universe that we're interested in requires the maps that WISE is going to make. It's a bit like using this metal detector here to try to find gold coins that are buried in all of this sand. WISE consists of a fairly modest-sized telescope, about 40 centimeters in diameter, that would sort of fit under your arm. WISE is going to survey the entire sky in 4 infrared wavelengths over 6 months. All-sky surveys are one of the basic tools that astronomers use to find interesting and unusual objects. It's sort of like the GPS of astronomy. One of the most exciting things that you expect to find with an all-sky survey like WISE is the unexpected. We expect surprises, things that we have no idea about today.
Good afternoon. My name is Dwayne Brown with the Office of Communications, and welcome to NASA headquarters. Today, NASA reveals near-Earth asteroid findings and implications for future research from the agency's Near-Earth Object Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, in short, NEOWISE. Today's information and graphics can be obtained on the web at www.nasa.gov/WISE. We will have brief presentations from our presenters, then open it up for questions at our NASA centers and the phone bridge. Before we get started, let me introduce you to today's speakers. First up, Lindley Johnson, NEO Program Executive, NASA Headquarters, Washington. Amy Meinzer, NEOWISE Principal Investigator, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Pasadena, California. Tim Sparr, Director, Minor Planet Center, Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory, Cambridge, Massachusetts. And Lucy McFadden, Scientist, NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. And with that, I'll toss it to Lindley to start us off.
Thanks, Dwayne. Thank you all for tuning in to hear about our progress with the Near-Earth Object Observation Program. We're here today to provide an update of our understanding of the near-Earth asteroid population and announce achievement of some significant goals in finding our nearest neighbors in the solar system. Over the past 12 years, our work to find near-Earth asteroids has largely been done by several ground-based observatory teams. But in 2010, NASA augmented those efforts by enhancement of the ground processing of the data being returned by the Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer.
So one of the characteristics of NEOWISE is that it really was a fairly small telescope in a low Earth orbit. In fact, the telescope would kind of fit under your arm like this, so it's not particularly large. But by virtue of being in space and operating at infrared wavelengths, it's a very powerful telescope, and it turns out to be very good at finding asteroids and comets. Now, if you go to the first animation here, you can see a little representation of what WISE looks like going around the Earth. It's always pointing outward from the Earth, surveying the whole sky. And as the Earth goes around the Sun, this allows the telescope to very quickly and efficiently carry out a survey of the whole sky. And in fact, it was so fast we were able to survey the whole sky twice in infrared wavelengths in only 1 year. And you can see here a little representation of the difference between visible light and the infrared light that WISE was able to see. So this was a very efficient and effective way of surveying the sky. And the original purpose of the mission was actually to study cool stars in very distant galaxies, and it's doing a great job of that. However, it turns out to also be very good at detecting asteroids. This is because it's using infrared light.
NASA discovered, and we're very excited about having found this, what they term Planet X. X is the Roman numeral for the number 10, meaning the 10th planet in the universe. They were very excited to discover it on December 31st, the year 1983. But suddenly, the chief scientists of the infrared astronomical satellite system that sent this thing into deep space, and they sent back pictures of it, and they released it to 6 of the top daily newspapers around the world. Suddenly the government came in, started putting a lid on all this information.
ask you to vote on the news. And here's the winner. There's a huge, hidden, heavenly body right here in our solar system. Evidence is mounting that either a brown dwarf star or a gas giant planet is lurking at the outermost reaches of our solar system, far beyond the planet Pluto. According to the British newspaper The Independent, the object is 4 times the size of Jupiter. Experts say the presence of such a massive object could explain why a barrage of comets has been coming from that direction.